Most people laugh at this version of Thor. They see him as a joke, a fall from greatness, and they shouldn't. Because this is easily the most terrifying image in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, not because it's dramatic, but because it's real. This version of Thor is frightening precisely because it reflects something that happens to real people every day. This is what a man looks like when he loses his purpose. Thor didn't just gain weight or become lazy. What happened to him was psychological. After the snap, he entered a state known as learned helplessness. It's what happens when someone experiences a failure so severe that their mind quietly decides, nothing I do matters anymore. The pain of that failure was unbearable. He believed he was strong enough, he believed he was the one who could stop it, and he didn't. So instead of confronting that reality, he numbed himself. Junk food, alcohol, video games. Endless comfort, not because it felt good, but because it helped him avoid feeling anything at all. This isn't indulgence, this is hiding, and this version of Thor isn't just a character. He's a warning, because if you don't consciously choose a mission, a purpose, or a goal, your brain will choose a distraction for you, and that distraction won't destroy you all at once. It will slowly rot you from the inside. To understand how far Thor fell, you have to remember who he used to be. At his peak, Thor had almost zero modern distractions. No phone, no screen addiction. No constant stimulation. He didn't scroll, he didn't obsess over trivial problems, he didn't escape into endless planning or fantasy. He was a creature of pure action. When something was wrong, he moved toward it. When there was a threat, he confronted it. This mindset made him powerful. The tragedy of Thor begins after his fight with Thanos. Thor was strong enough to win, he came close, but almost doesn't matter when half the universe is gone. The weight of that failure crushed him. And instead of moving forward, he retreated into comfort. From the outside, his life doesn't even look that bad. Food, drinks, games, friends, some people would call that a dream life. But the tragedy isn't what he's doing, it's what he's no longer becoming. His life fell drastically short of his potential. This isn't an anti-fun argument. Life without enjoyment is miserable. The problem is when comfort becomes the main objective of your existence. Thor didn't balance pleasure with purpose. He replaced purpose with pleasure. He traded the battlefield for the couch. And the comfort slowly became his prison. What makes this even more important is that Thor has lost before. Look at the destruction of Asgard. That was a complete, undeniable failure. He failed to save his home, but that loss forced growth. It taught him something deeper, that Asgard was never the buildings or the throne, it was the people. He had to lose the symbol of power to understand the responsibility of leadership. Even after losing to Thanos the first time, after watching his brother die and his people slaughtered, Thor didn't collapse. As soon as he could, he chose a mission: get Stormbreaker, kill Thanos. Move forward. In every tragedy before the snap, Thor had a next step. After the snap, there was no next step. And a man with nothing to do is a man who slowly begins to die. This is why Thanos' words hit so hard. You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me. Thor didn't just lose physically, he lost psychologically. He let failure define him. Here's the most important part of the story. Thor's redemption does not begin when he gets in shape. He doesn't suddenly become confident or healed. He enters the final battle still broken, still heavy, still unsure, still carrying guilt and doubt, and that's the lesson. You do not wait until you are fixed to act, you act in order to be fixed. Action comes before confidence. Movement comes before motivation. Thor realizes he is still worthy, not because he erased his failure, but because he stood up again. Resilience is not the absence of failure, it's the refusal to let failure have the final word. If you feel stuck, understand this: waiting for motivation is a trap. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. Thor didn't wait for his hands to stop shaking. He picked up the hammer anyway.